Well, businesses across the country are radically reshaping how they hire employees. National Australia Bank is among a host of employers scrapping CVs and face-to-face interviews. So here to tell us more, business analyst Michael Stafford from Six Seed. Hi there, Michael.
Hello.
Now, tell us about the trend towards online recruitment.
Well, let's start with the statistics. For every corporate role that's advertised, a corporation will get 200 applicants. They have to cut that down to between 4 to 6 people to interview to give one job. So the most important thing they need to do is get it down to a manageable pool quickly. And they need to do that in a very logical sense. So they're using tools like cognitive assessment tools, which is basically looking for people's numeric, reading and most importantly reasoning skills, and also as a consequence of that feeding questions into a video interview that is then submitted online.
So is this great news for young job seekers who don't have to put much into a CV, and therefore, or do you think it undervalues people with experience?
I think you've got to look at this two ways. There's jobs that are entry-level roles, and where this objective measurement criteria they're using, where there is no CV or experiences to pull on, is really important to be able to get the pool manageable for employers. I think if you're an employer and you're looking for somebody who's got experience, you're going to raise that up the rankings in terms of the criteria you're going to use. So I could imagine there'll be a situation where experience is first, and that assessment would be done by a person, and then if the pool's big enough, an employer would use a cognitive assessment and perhaps a video interview to trim that pool down to a manageable level for themselves.
Okay, what about the millennials, who I guess there's a bit of a dislike to be on the phone and that face-to-face interaction, and communication is obviously important. How do we sort of get through that?
Well, I think the ability to pull a crazy stunt and populate it to YouTube doesn't really qualify you for too many jobs that I'm aware of. So I'm not sure the millennials are at any more an advantage or disadvantage than anybody else. The reality is, particularly if we think about that video interview, they have to be able to communicate. So if you're a millennial and you're really struggling to communicate, my suggestion is that you need to get out there and get some training, because employers need people who can communicate well in the work environments in which we're participating these days.
They can probably practice on their phone. Michael Stafford, thanks for coming in this afternoon.
You're welcome.